here I would like to have a little bit of a longer session to both present what we do and also to hear what your thoughts, hear what how do you see youth engagement and youth participation in this amazing sector of ours, which is culture and natural heritage. I Yeah, let me see if I can see the yeah, perfect. You can just share the slide and move on to the next. Anyways, I hope we will be sharing this presentation also with you, so all the links can also stay there that way with you, and you have my contact details at the beginning. So here is a little bit of a bigger picture. Um, we had this prepared in order to well, not only explain our launching right now in this year, but also to set the stage for the youth participation in the cultural sector. As I hope most of you know, there is a compass for cultural compass for culture for Europe that was out last year, and for now it is obviously seen as the most ambitious EU cultural strategy, and it places culture at the heart of the European project, and explicitly calls for stronger youth engagement. I don't know how many of you have seen the compass, have read the compass, but basically, it all started with a letter that the president of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, sent to the commissioner for, among many other things, youth and culture, where she explicitly basically linked youth and cultural heritage through right to access cultural heritage, and from there the cabinet of the commissioner started working on the implementation of that idea, of that mission letter, and also expand a little bit, hopefully, and yeah, I've seen. Okay, so maybe I can anyways, I will do the presentation, but then I'm quite open to many questions, and no questions are too basic, because I understand now that some of you might be from this story, so know. For some, I might explain, give a good explanation, but for those who need extra information, we will have time. Later. So basically, when we read the compass and when we saw the commissioner's letter, it was something that resonated quite deeply with us, because the network and the association that I represent here has been doing similar activities, and I'm not going to say lobbying, because we don't have that capacity, but advocating for those changes in the sector since 2017. So we are already doing the work that Compass promotes, and basically we are just using the Compass as a proof that our work has been relevant and that it still will be relevant. We can fastly, quickly go through the key figures of this document. Basically, the EU gives us some statistics, which are always good. 8.7 million employed in culture and creative industry, which is around 2.8% of the EU workforce. More than 5 billion euros in EU direct investment in culture and heritage in this multi-annual financial framework. And 38% of rural residents cite distance as a barrier to culture participation. I think that, among many other sectors, cultural heritage is also suffering from this urban versus rural, both in terms of management of the heritage, protection, investment, participation, and also access. Some of the key commitments is Youth Culture Ambassadors Network, which, as you see, spans a little bit more than just heritage. So we are looking forward to see who else will be part of this initiative, and I will be talking about our similar initiative that we have a little bit later on. It also, yeah.
No, you can go. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I see, and then of course you can see that the idea is to have partnerships for serial cultural heritage and AI strategy for cultural sector. Generally, the big fight, the big activity that all culture institutions, whether they are heritage related or not, now in the scheme of the, let's say, EU bubble, the big dilemma that they are facing is that they have to prove relevant for other sectors, that somehow the let's say the policymakers tend to understand as valuable per se. I don't know if I'm explaining, but for instance, if you would to tell them where do you want to put money, heritage or digital transformation, everybody will say, digital transformation. Heritage or climate change, climate change. And I'm not saying that those things are less relevant. I am saying that what we are trying to present is that actually culture and heritage, more concretely, as this is the part of my world, is actually crucial for all those topics, not only as users, but also as a big depository of positive experience and lifelong learnings. So if we want to fight climate change, what better than to see how it was done and to study vernacular architecture, for instance, that is part of heritage, right? So I think that here the recommendations are important because they this interdisciplinarity or cross dimensional approach really strikes out. If we can have a next slide, please. And now our story. So basically we started from ESAG. Wait a second, I need to just block the messages. Okay, sorry. So we started in 2017 as ESAG. ESAG was standing for Europe Student Association for Cultural Heritage. And basically, even though it says association, it was a non-formal youth-led network that basically presented a group of young enthusiasts who were getting ready for the European Year of Cultural Heritage that was the following one. And they came together and created this pan-European network with the ambition of bringing younger voices to the center of Europe's culture conversation. Since then, we have been growing steadily. Big push was unfortunately the pandemics, when people had a little bit of more free time and willingness to connect to online events, which is very helpful if you have voluntary based across Europe organization which basically runs on Zooms and platforms alike, which is also one of the reasons I'm quite surprised my camera decides to abandon me today. But yeah, so we had a big push there, but also, stepping out of the pandemic, there was more and more need to have a little bit more of a structure in our events, to have a little bit more of a institutional presence, because most of the time, people were not aware that there was no legal entity, there was no administrative body behind everything what we were doing. I invite you for all of this. Also, you will see our website at the end, so you can also just browse and see everything that was done. But anyways, in last year, that's why we finally decide, okay, so now we are going to do a bit of what we are trying to preach. And what we are trying to preach is to have a more structural presence of youth in the sector. And for us to be able to do that, we need to do something bigger and to establish our own association, basically to register and to become a legal entity. That time, it was also the time of questioning for our name, and we decided to change it a little bit, mostly because what we realized in the working with our members is that they were less interested in, let's say, typically student questions, and more of young professionals, more of a general access to the sector, and early steps, and sharing peer-to-peer the experiences, etc. So we moved our name, and we decided to register under Youth.Heritage.Europe, and with the more or less the same idea, and it was just scaling up the legacy of what we have in the previous network, and we're trying to become a true European organization, building a larger and more connected community, and yeah, stronger institutional foundation. I don't know if you've ever founded a legal entity, but one of the trickiest, for instance, for us questions, which might be interesting for you and your future experience in the sector, was, as some would say, as silly as, where is the address? So, all of a sudden you have all of these questions, very practical, very down to earth, very like, on what language will you register your association? Who will be speaking that language in 5 year time, when hopefully we are out and we leave the network to someone else? So it was not easy. I'm just saying that. So if any of you thinks of doing something similar, please don't be discouraged. But we ended up having an amazing support from Hispania Nostra, one of our partners, and 2 out of 3 of initial founders are based in Madrid, which made it a little bit easier to finally settle for Spain and for Madrid. But as we like to say, our home is Europe. So most of the day-to-day team is not in Spain. Okay, next slide, please. And this is everything that we have been doing all over these years. You might even recognize some of these activities. Might even recognize some of these people. But basically, my intention with this slide is just to show you the vast, the varieties of the things we had. We had some short in-person events, or longer in-person events, like meetings in Genoa, and later on in Madrid. Unfortunately, due to COVID, was hybrid. We also have ESAF Talks, which is our star of the show, webinars that connected the different topics and different young professionals, and were some sort of a window um, for young professionals to maybe present their work for the first time, to brush up on their skills, how to defend their work, how to explain, but also a very nice community of people chatting every now and then about heritage. Of course, we had some more prominent speakers when the both the topic and other institutions were available, like the collaboration with the UNESCO. And finally, we did we have some books, and ESAH Quarterly was our review. Now it is under the different name, but it still exists as initiative, and we are looking forward maybe also to some of you contributing there. Finally, maybe the best known initiative that we have were European Heritage Youth Ambassadors. You might recognize some of these faces, but they were this is the first cohort. There were 2 more, and it was the initiative under the Agora project led by European Europa Nostra and European Heritage Tribune. We can go to the next slide. And so when the question is, when we had all of that, why transform? Why not just continue? Well, I think I was very detailed before, but maybe here you can see a little bit more structured reply. Basically, we wanted to broaden our mission, to expand the impact beyond individual projects, because we were very tied to let's say individual initiatives, projects, other partners, and similar restraints. So now we can have a little bit more of a wider idea. And then also long-term sustainability. We are hoping that now we can have a lasting, resilient network with a formal structure that has a membership base and stable funding. So we can rely less and less on continuous work of the volunteers. And finally, that we have some European visibility. This is something that we like to say it's not like we didn't have before, but now with the more formal presence, it is easier to have the recognition across the EU institutions and partners, and to be present in the policy forums. Next slide, please. Okay. These are some other initiatives that we had. As you can see, we did not stop during COVID. So there were 1 or 2 in-person events, and we try to have it every year. It's usually under a different project. Most of them were with the ambassadors initiative. But yeah, of course, now we also have European Heritage Days coming up. So it will be as well an opportunity to meet. Maybe we can skip this slide. And finally, the objectives. As you can see, we were not shy to put everything that we hoped to gain here, and we really wanted to work on the knowledge and on the skills. We would like to work on a little bit of an informal education, of also lifelong education, and upscaling, rescaling. This is something that maybe some of you are familiar as terms. So we are hoping to have different programs of mentoring, seminars, short courses, and also to with these activities have an interdisciplinary youth network that connects students and early career professionals, but also practitioners in different communities and researchers. Sorry. And of course, what we are trying to do is aside. So these 2 first, let us say, like youth with youth, for youth. But we are trying to sometimes break up the bubble and go and try to advocate for meaningful youth participation in different events, not youth-centered, in every level where decision-making is happening. we're trying to make, of course, heritage inclusive and future ready, working on the topics as accessibility, climate action, digital commons, and hopefully for us, fair opportunities. And yeah, the idea is that we don't just publish and finish. We are trying and looking for ways that for every of our initiative, of our project, that there is let's say or replicability or continuance of the same ideas. And of course, if we build bridges across sector, then it's easier to mainstream heritage in sustainable development. So again, this is a bit like big words. So if any of you later on has any questions, I would be more than happy to maybe give you an example of both how we are doing. Of course, not all of these objectives are at the same level right now. Have in mind that all of this structure is quite new, but this is something that we have, as our goal on the path that we are working on. We can have the next slide, please. Okay, and then we changed our logo, and here we also worked with one of the colleagues that we met during the charter event. And I mean, the design is Selene, but there was a coordinator in all of this process and brainstorming. And for us, the logo change is also the idea of youth, not just as a piece of stone, but as an element that makes everything possible. As you can see, we decided to give it the youthful orange color in the arch. The keystone is what calls us together and allows it to stand and endure the test of time. And this is for us the youth participation in the sector. Of course, a little bit of blue is never a bad option, as it stands for values of the continent that we are part of. Okay, we can skip this one as well. This is yet another to see all of the different faces and places. We love to meet, so every opportunity that we have for in-person events, because we see this group more than just let's say a networking opportunity or a volunteering that gives us some soft skills, but we became close friends, many of us. So this is why it is, I think, one of the huge benefits of this association now, network before, is sharing the same goal can bring people across Europe, and being young and having enough time or strength or whatever to continuing to maintaining these relationships, we became very, very close friends. And then the next slide. Okay, so with the objectives in mind, this is how we plan to have everything done. Of course, also please keep in mind this is the idea. Or some of them are quite well advanced, some of them are still in baby steps, but we are working on all 5 of them. So first we have programs and events. We have annual youth forums. At least that is the idea. The last time it was in March in Albarracin in Spain. But this year will also be after the summer. So as soon as we have more detail, we will be happy to share with our partner in this ENCAT, and then hopefully the word gets to you as well, and you might decide to want to come and to be part of it. We are also working on establishing monthly online exchanges. It is something similar to what we had the ESAC talks. And it's also targeted actions responding to the heritage needs. So it will be various topics. We also have projects and partnerships. So now we are now we are apt and legally ready to be part of the big consortiums, to be part of the EU funding schemes. So we like when we are part of these multi-country initiatives with different NGOs, municipalities, universities, civil organizations. Of course, we are also working on research to practice moment, because many of our young members are PhD students. So they have like this deep knowledge, this deep understanding on a certain topic, and we're trying to work with them to maybe leave it, to take it from the research base to the policy briefs, toolkits, position papers, and pilot projects that can further their field of study. Of course, we have publications, as I already mentioned, and we have a community support peer. This is the new initiative that we are starting, which is mentoring and resources for local groups to start or grow their heritage work. It is also something that we had in the beginning. It was called ESAH groups. It was usually linked to the university, but now we are expanding and working on having group of friends and heritage enthusiasts wherever they want to form their bubble, and also to help them in any way we can. And the next slide, please. This is, for instance, one of the events we had 2024. It was Bucharest. We had the Youth Forum. And it was in the framework of as a pre-event of the European European Cultural Heritage Summit. So some of us were already there for Summit, and then we kind of decided to have this huge one-day event. You see how many people were on the stage that afternoon, sharing their stories, and also learning from one another, but also meeting maybe one another for the first time. On the bottom right is also the events we did in the collaboration with the Climate Heritage Network. On the preservation and generation, it was let's say a post event after the big one I mentioned in Albarracin, where we were talking about this topic already there in a roundtable, and now we wanted to further the discussion, but also to open it to the online community that might not be able to be in person in Albarracin. Okay, the next slide, please. I don't think I would have to go through one of these again. I think that I've been talking for almost half an hour, so I hope that the message is somewhat easy to understand. That these are our pillars. So we like to work on the advocacy, on the research part, on the network. Of course, we loving to do that. A lot of it is partnerships, and we wouldn't want it any other way, because doing it alone is most likely just doubling, just doing the same work someone else is doing, and not reaching the full potential, because it is the partnerships that make your work so much more visible and helpful to the rest of the community. And then, of course, youth-led actions that we will do from time to time. Okay, next slide, please. And this is our website. Yes, this is very important, because if you were to Google ESAH up until maybe a couple of months, you would have our new website, but now we have a new domain. So it is www.youth/heritage/Europe.org. And there you have everything about us. And we are also working on uploading all the older information, as we really don't want this to be a clean break. We are still ESAC, and the main ideas and the goals remain the same. So check the website out when you have a moment, and then maybe we can skip to the next one. Yeah, this is the event I mentioned a couple of times, Albarracin last March. It was 60 young heritage professionals in the room. And it was a very, very challenging and rewarding to organize going to the Spanish mountains and enjoying this weather on 1,000 meters above the sea level. But we had some amazing 4 or 5 days, and hopefully something similar will happen end of October, and you will be informed in time. Next one. Okay, so these are our partners. Of course, as I said, nothing can be done in a bubble, or in a vacuum, or on an island. Very little. So we are very happy to have many of the partners here that you see. The let's say the one that we started with was Europa Nostra, but it quickly spread. And we are happy also to have Hispania Nostra, who is our host in Spain in terms of legal part. We have the Romanian Association for Cultural Heritage as well. And then I'm sure that you are somewhat familiar with ENCAT since you're there. But also we have the Heritage Management Organization, Michael Culture, Europeana, Future for Religious Heritage, and you can see all of them. And of course, we are always open to collaborating with everyone, and also with the new one. And the next one, please. Okay, and yeah, just go to the next one. So this is us. Here you will, in no particular order, see both the CC members. CC is a coordination committee, which is basically kind of international secretariat, which I'm leading, and then above me is my board. We have. I'm just gonna name them. So we have Ana, Juan Manuel, Elif, Hector, Irene, Emilia, myself, Carla, Lea, Lorenzo, Erim, Giovanni, Sofia, Sorina, Unige, and Denise. And yeah, each of them and their functions you can also see on our website. But we wanted to put a face to everything that I've been saying, and also for you to see that if I'm presenting here alone, it is not the work of one person. So we are all in this together. And the next slide, please. Okay, so these are the current projects that we are working. European Heritage Hub. Right now, it's the second phase of this initiative, and it is in the format of preparatory action. It is led by Europa Nostra. In the first part, we were part as ESAC, and we were just supporting partner, and now we are affiliated partner with a little bit of more of activities and obligations. And our next gen heritage ambassador is one of them. And of course, one of the reasons we were in the different heritage summits throughout the years. Last year Brussels, year before Bucharest, etc. We can maybe skip this. I think I'm extending myself, and I want to hear from others in the room. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are the ambassadors. Again, if you have more questions on this, I think I would leave it to the potential Q&A. But in short, this is part of the European Heritage Hub project, where we received over almost 300 applications for 12 positions for the Youth Heritage Ambassadors, next to Jen. And now with these 12 people, they're kind of like our with different windows into different activities for the consortium. Again, also the idea is not to have the same people present everywhere. So we are working with the different partners from the consortium to have each one of them present and participating in different events. So maybe if you've by any chance seen the last week, we had policy debate. Atakan was participating, for instance. So yeah, you can rely on them. Now, this might be something that is a bit more interesting to you, is because we are doing a youth mapping initiative. So we have this very easy and user-friendly form, Google form, where we are trying to map all the projects, programs, initiatives, networks, associations, and groups across Europe. So we are not looking for something that is strict in its format or in its structure. But also we look for the departments of bigger organizations, if they have a youth department, youth council, youth whatever. And also, like, the idea with this is to create synergies, and also to see who is working on this topic, and maybe potentially meet in the future and discuss and have a maybe platform or a network of youth engaged heritage initiatives and associations. So basically, I think that the best way to describe is we are trying to identify who is active, where, in what capacity. And the next slide, please. And then this is one of our most precious babies. This was the position paper that also was then developed into a youth pledge that we invite you to sign. You can sign it on our website, and it is basically the work of year-long interviews and working with young professionals, both short interviews and in depth, talking about what would be the 5 principles of the heritage future, or future in heritage, or however you want to play with the words. And we finally thought it's going to be inclusion, collaboration, intergenerational exchange, strengthening the sector, and new technologies. Again, it is a very big document, so I'm not going to extend myself too much here, but I invite you to look it up on our website. And of course, if any of you have questions, wants more information, you also have my email, so you can write to me. The next one, please. And everything that we do, and how, if you want to become a member. So we have 2 member communities. One is active members, that are people between ages of 18 and 35, or currently students, which means that, of course, we do have people that are with their PhDs and over 35, so it's quite okay. And they're citizens or residents of a Council of Europe member states. So we are thinking Europe in a broader sense. They participate in the General Assembly with the voting rights, and they have access across different programs, events, and trainings, and hopefully at reduced rates in the future. And our observing members are individuals who either don't want to be part of the active, or don't meet some of our criteria. This is basically kind of like our alumni club. The main difference is they cannot vote at the General Assembly, but these are people that we hope we will soon become. In a sense that once the next generation also takes over, that we will be there to observe, maybe help, but in a lesser capacity than now. Next slide, please. And yeah, this is where we say that your support really matters. This is the generic, the slide that we have for our members to apply. The annual fee is 12 euros, so it is we hope a small fee, but with a big impact, and that is just to support the structure of digital needs, the and all of these platforms, and how we can work. But the work of the whole team is for the association is on a completely voluntary basis. So none of us are receiving a salary for running the association. And of course you can scan, but again, you will have this, I don't want to put you in the spot, you can have the presentation and then later on scan. Okay, next slide, please. I think the next one is the last. It should be. Yes, thank you. Anyways, again, being young, one cannot avoid all of these different social medias, and yeah, these are ours profiles, so you can follow us.